David Taub here, coming to you from nextlevelguitar.com, and today I want to go over with you how to handle scratchy potentiometers or scratchy volume knobs or tone knobs. It's going to happen to you. It happens to all us guitar players, whereas you're turning your knob on the guitar volume and you hear that little it's really annoying, and it's quite loud. And what happens is, what's causing that in most instances is dust and contaminants and dirt are getting inside the potentiometer, and it's causing that noise. Now, these knobs are basically potentiometers, the volumes and tones. What that is, it's just think of it, it's like a variable resistor, okay? And what it looks like is what's happening, there's little wipers in these potentiometers, or sliders or sweepers that kind of go like this, okay? So think of the inside of this potentiometer as like a horseshoe. And then there's a wiper as you turn the knob that goes like this around a horseshoe of resistant material. So little dust and dirt gets in there, and every time you're swiping over here, that and crackliness. And I'm going to show you how to fix it really easy, okay? All you're going to need is, I'm going to show you how to do it on a Strat type guitar. So we're going to have to take the pick guard off. Okay, so we got to get to underneath. Now, depending on your kind of guitar, you might have to go through either the front or a separate cover, or maybe through the back. Okay, but you got to get to underneath to get access to the potentiometer. So I'm going to use a Phillips screwdriver. I'm going to use a string winder just to get the strings off real quick, and I'm going to use some electronic spray. You could use, this is pickup and electronic cleaner, specifically for guitars. I bought this at Guitar Center, actually. It's quite cheap. You could get the same kind of spray, contact spray is basically what it is, that you can get at any electronics store, like or a Radio Shack. They all carry it. What this potentiometer does, it as a variable resistor, it just basically allows you to limit the amount of output that's coming out of your guitar, amount of signal that's going to the amp. Okay, so it's sending basically all or part of your signal to ground. So you're either getting less or more signal depending on how you vary it, okay? And these potentiometers have different values. Like, so you can't just take any potentiometer out and put any other one in. Some of them are 250K, some of them are 500K, and it depends on the type of pickups that you have and the preference of the player. Have? Nigel would probably have humbuckers, so he would probably have 500K, because humbuckers, like this Strat is a Big Apple Strat. It came stock with 2 Seymour Duncan humbuckers. And generally, with humbuckers, you get potentiometers that are like in the 500K range, or a 500K potentiometer. Gives you a little brighter sound for the humbucker. Whereas if this was a single coils, you'd usually have like a 250K, which gives you a little bit more fatter sound, a little bit darker. So you can actually experiment with them and see what you like. But generally, the higher the K value, like 500 more for humbuckers, 250K usually more for single coil. But what I always tell everybody is, with their guitar, is if you swap out your potentiometers or your pickups or whatever, make sure you keep the original ones. Don't throw the original ones away, because if you ever go to sell the guitars, especially if they're collectible or as they appreciate in value, are always going to be worth more in their original state.
It's like a car.
Yeah, pretty much it's like a car.
Parts, you're gonna get more money.
Good point. So if you, by all means, experiment and have fun, but if you swap out pickups or swap out the pick guard or change your potentiometers, save the original ones. It's very, very important. Put them in a plastic bag and put them in the guitar case that goes with the guitar, because you might need them one day if you're ever going to sell it. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to take the pick guard off of this guitar. Now, the nice thing about Fender Strats is that I think when Leo Fender was designing this instrument, he put thought into the maintenance of the guitar. Because remember, like I always say, guitars have moving parts and they require maintenance. You should clean your potentiometers every now and then, because you're definitely going to need to clean them once they get scratchy. But what he did was, to make it easy, everything on the face of this guitar is attached to the back of the pick guard. Your potentiometers, your switch, whether it's a 5-way or 3-way, and your pickups are all attached to the back of the pick guard. So by taking off the pick guard screws, I'm going to do that in a minute, and flipping this over, you have all your electronics right there. They're not bolted to the body, so it really makes maintenance and care very easy. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be cleaning the potentiometers using the electronic or contact spray. So the first thing you have to do to remove the pickguard, now you might not have to do this on your guitar. Again, you got to get to the potentiometers, whether it's through the back or taking them out through the front. On this guitar, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the strings. Okay, so I got all 6 strings detached, and I'm just going to pop them down here out of the way, giving me access to this pickguard. Now, there's 12 screws going around that I'm going to have to remove. So here's a close-up, and again, you just want to remove the 12 screws on the Stratocaster that are around the outer edges of the pickup, not the one around the edges on the pickguard. Not the screws next to the pickups, the smaller screws. You can leave those on, and also don't take off the ones by your switch, by your pickup selector switch. And don't even have to take the knobs off either. Okay, we're just removing these. Okay, so I took out all of the screws around the perimeter of the pickguard, and now we're going to pop it out. Now, a lot of these Strats, sometimes you have to pull it down and out this way. It won't come straight off because a little piece of it might go underneath the neck. The other thing is don't pull it far because we're leaving the ground, the electronics attached underneath where they run through the body. So I'll show you that. So we're just going to take it off enough to get it over. So now when I take it off, grab it from the bottom, and then we're going to pull down toward the bridge so it clears the neck here. See that? And now it's going to come out. Now again, I'm holding it because I'm going to see which way I'm going to turn it over because it's still going to be attached. Now I'm going to put it down in my lap to show you this. And I'm going to just take it, and I'm carefully twisting it and coming over. Okay. So here's the underside of the pickguard. Here's our 3 potentiometers. Here's our 5-way selector switch. Here's our humbucking pickups. Again, notice, like I was saying earlier, do you see how everything is kind of connected to the back of the pickguard on these Fender Strats, which makes maintenance very easy. If you wanted to take out the pickups, you could just take out those 2 screws and change the pickups or the switch or the potentiometers. It's all connected right to the pickguard. Makes things really, really easy. All right, so I'm going to set that down. Now, what you want to look for on your potentiometers, I have my contact spray here, or my electronic spray, and you want to direct the flow of it, so I have the little red tube, so I can put the spray exactly where I want it. Now in the potentiometer, sometimes some potentiometers will have a little hole in the side or the back of it. If it does, that's where you want to stick the end of this in that hole and give it a good spray. These potentiometers do not. So what you want to do is you want to go right underneath the leads. There's holes leading into that band of resistance that I told you. There's a band of resistance where that wiper or that slider runs along as you turn that knob. What you want to do is you want to shoot your contact spray right into the potentiometer, either through the hole or right above the leads, and basically just give it a good shot. And give it a shot over here. And then work the knob all the way. I'm underneath with my hand turning the knob all the way to the end and then all the way back. And I'm working that knob. And what that does is it takes that wiper that's in there and it's going to spread around that contact spray and it really cleans it up. And if your potentiometer was scratchy before, it's probably going to clean that right up and it's not going to be scratchy. And again, be very careful. Don't pull on this too hard because I don't have a lot of slack in these leads. This is going to the input jack. So yeah, you have limited movement, but you do have enough to get in there, take it off, and flip it over. But you don't have enough to take it and go out over here with it. So you want to just be real delicate with it because you could bust that lead. And then when you're putting this back, again, I'm being very careful. Very careful not to break the leads. And again, remember, you don't want to pinch any of the wiring between the pickguard and the body of the guitar. So you want to make sure it goes into the cavity. That's basically it. That's all you need to do. Now I'm going to go around and tighten up all the screws, put the strings back on, and I am not going to have any more problems with scratchy potentiometers with this particular guitar. So keep this guitar in top-notch shape and it'll be good to you for years and years and years and years to come. Visit our website, nextlevelguitar.com, and we will see you in the next lesson. Take care.